Artist Napoleon Jones Henderson has been working with textiles and other media for more than 50 years, and his spirit and artistic prowess are now on display at the Institute of Contemporary Art in Boston. Special correspondent Jared Bowen of GBH recently met Jones Henderson at his home. It's part of our Arts and Culture series, Canvas.
I've got surely 6,000 or 7,000 books throughout my library here.
If ever there was a home built on passion and fueled by art, this is it. Napoleon Jones Henderson has lived here for 47 years. It's a living sculpture housing a lifetime of his, not to mention all other manner of artwork.
Do you have different working spaces?
Well, yes, each room is a different working space, and I would call it an aesthetic and intellectual resource. That's what this house is for me.
And the spirits run deep here. Jones Henderson's Greek Revival home is known as the Edward Everett Hale House. Hale was an abolitionist who advocated for the education of freed, enslaved people.
I'm sure, as an abolitionist and all of the activities that he was engaged in, people such as Tubman and Douglass, they've all tiptoed through this house. So in a way of speaking, I see it as responsibility of mine to continue that kind of energy.
It looks like you are not somebody who separates your work from life.
Oh no, it's all one thing. My work is my life.
And has been for half a century. In 1968, Jones Henderson was one of the founders of the Chicago artist collective AfriCobra, or the African Commune of Bad Relevant Artists. And now at Boston's ICA, the decades of work in textiles he produced according to AfriCobra's aesthetic principles fills this retrospective.
And that manifesto which drove our work is the elevation of the humanity of African people and to project, if you will, always positive images and works that reflect the beauty and the majesty of African people.
They asked themselves the question, what is the role of the visual artist as part of the civil rights movement? And
Jeffrey DuBlois is the show's curator and says Jones Henderson's work has always been in dialogue with the community, reflecting the culture in language and music.
AfriCobra outlined that they would use language in a particular way. As you see in Napoleon's work, often things that come from the community, sayings, to be free, or lyrics drawn from black music, like from a Stevie Wonder song. At other times, an individual work that's dedicated to a body of work by a musician, like Duke Ellington's Sacred Concerts. So it has various iterations in his work, but there is a sense of rhythm and musicality throughout.
And it's woven in. Jones Henderson studied textile weaving at the Art Institute of Chicago. But well before that, it was family practice.
It really starts out with my grandparents and my aunts and all the women in my family, because quilting and patching the holes in your pants after they wore out and tucking up a coat sleeve because it was a little bit too big for you when they got passed down.
Over decades, he scooped up roll after roll of fabric from New England's once thriving textile mills. And in 1974, he came across a room full of reflective yarn, once used for flapper dresses, which he still uses.
The element of the AfriCobra aesthetic and philosophy of shine became fully available to me. The aspects that one can find in medieval tapestries and so forth, where they have the gold and silver threads in there, and it's the very same thing.
And the shine accents a palette of what Jones deliciously calls Kool-Aid colors.
In the late 60s and early 70s, I know in Chicago in particular, you saw brothers walking around the neighborhood and the street with these wonderful Kool-Aid color outfits on, lime green, the purple, the strawberry, the red. And so that style is what we saw as an important element to depict in our visual work. And be perfectly honest, Kool-Aid is very close to watercolor.
The artist's most recent pieces, and a project he's been working on for the last 20 years, is a series of sculptures titled Requiem for Our Ancestors. They are shrines to house spirits, and began with his desire to honor the 4 girls killed when white supremacists bombed Alabama's 16th Street Baptist Church in 1963.
Looking at those 4 little girls and many other Africans who have died or were killed, murdered, and otherwise terrorized, whose passing, their spirits were not able to be honored and held sacred by the people who they were a part of.
And the bottom of each shrine, he says, is meant to catch the wind, as derived from a Nigerian tradition.
So the stirring of the air is the stirring of the spirits. And so these structures are spaces for those spirits that have still been uneasy out here since 1619, coming forward. They have a place to be.
From a museum to a home where the spirits always move, Napoleon Jones Henderson. For the PBS NewsHour, I'm Jared Bowen in Boston.